Hi people, welcome to Blue UK Jazz, welcome to the Blue Lab. H for higher learning, H for humiliation. A lot of people face humiliation, yeah? Special education needs. I come from a special education needs background. As an individual, I faced a lot of humiliation and I had to overcome. Learn to cope with humiliation, manage it, and then overcome it, okay? As an individual, I was labelled as a slow learner. That I didn't get no help, I was written off. But I came from parents who were slow learners. They didn't know that was a title. They just knew we have challenges, but you can overcome some. Don't let that be a barrier to your learning. And that's how I went about life. And they, ironically, in the 0 to 6 years, they taught me the practices that they use to cope and manage with the stress of special education needs, because they do. Your brain gets information overloaded, etc. You have to find a way. So one of the ways, for example, my mum was she was a seamstress, a dressmaker. When she's designing, she put her papers up. And she do, boom. I did the drawings for her, by the way. That's one thing I did. But she does patterns and all that. She would do little drawings. My dad was an artist. He'd have his own little things. My dad always draw cars all the time, 24/7. Do his signature. He's an artist. So I learned the methods. My dad wanted to chill out. My dad would listen. Sometimes my dad would dance to music, and there's times when his brain was overloaded. You just lie on the couch and play his music, you know, from Jamaica and the music from the US. And that's what I did as a child growing up. When my dad used to leave the house and go work, I used to sneak into the front room, put his music on, turn the light off, and just listen to the music the same way he did. And there's times when I danced to the music. But it's ironic when I think about the practice that I use. I use exactly what he did. There's time when I don't want to dance. I just listen to the music. And that's what my dad did. To wind to, the society stress, work stress, but he had information overload because my dad was dyslexic. He didn't find out until his 70s, but I know from finding out and knowing what I did and the significance of it. Have you got that? Now, one of the key things I wanted to share with the individuals, I'm a UK jazz dancer and I'm a pioneer from Manchester, okay? Everybody cool? Dad's from Jamaica, mom's from Grenada. My late father, he died in 2016. I was very sad because we were supposed to work together, curate his work with my son who's a photographer, also a dancer, do you know what I'm saying? I was curating a piece of work, and what's happened has been, I created a project from 1986, I was unhappy because my culture, UK jazz dance, or UK underground jazz dance, was debased. It was not new. Every dance that African Caribbeans brought into Britain was debased, everyone. Okay? Particularly Jamaican dances, and my dad's Jamaican, and my mum's Grenadian. Do you understand? Right. Jamaicans were blamed for everything. There was no acknowledgement for what the Jamaicans brought. They brought a wicked culture. There was no acknowledgement for the West Indians. They brought holistic cultures. They created social change. Carnival in Britain, 58. How did it come? Because the riots of 58, they created that. Steel pan was starting to be used, drumming. In the 50s, they started to create all these programs to bring about multicultural education to people to get an understanding. This is us. Respect us. This is what we've done. We're a people who are equal to you. Do you know what I'm saying? So blacks proactively created programs and festivals to allow other cultures to embrace in what they did. But what you need to know, it wasn't the other way around. Do you understand? As I stand here as an individual. We went to school and we were indoctrinated by Western miseducation, because they miseducated their own. They miseducated their own on Western music, art, theatre, mathematics, everything. So my school life, primary, miseducation, secondary, miseducation, university, 2005 to 2010, I was miseducated and I was re-educating myself in the university. Do you understand? When I was in primary school, I was going to Saturday schools. That was a re-education program. The same in secondary school, I was going to black Saturday schools and summer schools to re-educate us. On what? The missing history of Britain. The missing pages are beautiful. A man called John Henry Clark talked about when he first started to embark on looking at black history. He was told by a man called Mr. Schoenberg in the United States. He said, you're not looking for black history, you're looking for the missing pages of world history. So what I talk about today, UK jazz dance, is the missing pages of social underground dance in Britain. Have you got that? It's important. Because you separate it, but dances are all happening at the same time. They were happening with social, physical, intellectual, cultural, emotional, spiritual, political, economic, technological environment, things going on. Have you got that? Right. So from 86, a film came out called Absolute Beginners that debased my culture. It was unacceptable. A magazine debased our culture. It was unacceptable. And certain key things were happening, but people didn't speak out about this film, and they should have done. He was supposed to be promoting my art form in a respectful, integral way, with excellence. People kept their mouth silent, played what is called status quo game. I'm not saying anything about what happened. That's for you dancers to sort out. But it wasn't. The precedents for the ill treatment of the dancers came from the Western DJs, the dispirited one. Not all of them, many, and the proprietors, because of the black door policies that was put into place. No Western DJ spoke up about black door policy. They knew about it and never spoke up. Next minute, they were getting accolades for the art form they tried to kill being perpetuated around the world. I said, nah, 86, I'm not having it. So 86, basically, I started to gather material. I was doing talks, and I was already doing talks from 1981 about black people being here, called under the umbrella of Community Empowering Students, Student Empowering Students. It's a program I created with Mr. Blackman. Because what happened, and people had stereotypes about black people born in my side. And for me, the 81 riots was unacceptable because I'd gone to suburban schools. So I knew what the white community thought and the Asian community thought about black people. They didn't live in our communities because even though we were very segregated, really. Even though we're together, people didn't come into your homes. Some people didn't come into your homes. Yeah, after we left the slums, I went to live in the suburbs. And it's very, everybody was separate. Even though you live in a community, in my street, only black people connected, but other cultures didn't necessarily connect with us. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was like, you get what you're doing, we do what we're doing. Do you understand? That's how it was. So I created a program, Mr. Blackman, which was Community Empowering Students, and Students Empowering Students, and Students Empowering the Community, because people had stereotypes about students. For example, when I went to my college, I only stayed there for 2 weeks, because I'd faced racism in my secondary school, in a suburban secondary school, and I had it immediately when I went into my college to do O levels and to do A level art. I said, nah, I'm not staying there 2 weeks. I just told my dad, nah, Dad, I'm leaving here. And I went to a YTS course. I went on a course, yeah, and went to night school separately. I said, Dad, nah, unhealthy environments. So my dad was cool with it. You shape your own destiny, son. And that's what I did as an individual. But 86, 81, there was a lot of information after the riots of 81. There was a lot of negatives about black youth, menace to society. And we were not menace to society. We stood up for ourselves. The riots came out of being killed. That's simply as it is. The 1958 riots, we said, nah, we have to stop it. So people stood up all over the country. Black youth stood up. And there was riots. And them riots changed Britain overnight. The first time there was an incorporation of black people in the National Arts Programme was in 81. What happened in 1981? Access course came up. In 1981, a wealth of reports came out about the racism that black people were facing, directly and indirectly came out. For the first time, the reports came out. That's what came for the riots of 81. Do you know what I'm saying? It was no deliberate thing, but enough was enough. People had to stand up, and people tried to make out we were a menace to society. We weren't a menace to society. Who were a menace to society was white youth. Themselves, the mods, the rockers, the teddy boys, they were destroying places. And so when people tried to promote around the world that we were destroying places, when it was internally white youth that was destroying, vandalizing telephone boxes, robbing, smoking, drinking on an unprecedented scale, self-harming, yeah, raping. You have to understand, you go back and look at the crime in Britain. We're a small population. Look at crime. Look at violence. You'll see it came from white youth who were oppressed. Because white youth were oppressed in Lancashire, particularly in the north of England. They were oppressed. They brought in IQ tests to make sure that young people in Lancashire, particularly in the north, they'll be working in menial jobs. So we needed people to work in factories. Do you understand? So white youth were involved in drugs. White youth were involved in violence on an unprecedented scale, going back to the scuttlers of the 1800s. back to the days of the Industrial Revolution. Do you understand? There was a lot of violence that took place. A lot of women got beat. You understand? A lot of murdering took place. The extreme stress in the society had gone to chronic stress. And part of my work was talking about, do you know why we danced? It was part of our health, to keep us healthy. We were experiencing major trauma. We were the first to go into white schools. You have to understand this, in a white society that was set up to perpetuate racist ideology, to make sure people discriminated against black and Asian minority groups. We went into schools where they still had the sample books. We went into schools where people sang songs, you know, meeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a nigger by his toe. If he squeals, let him go. That was the playground song. What the hell's going on here? When I came from the slums and went into suburban school, what? Meeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a nigger by his toe, if him squeal, let him go. Oh, no, no, no. People had a whole bag of songs, not that one, but a whole bag of songs. The kids came up on gollywogs. The kids came up on sambo books. Kids came up on Enid Blyton books. So when you went to school, they hated you. Do you know what I'm saying? And we created dances, our parents created dances, songs, and a culture, an underground culture, first before we came. And it was strong. And we just followed it. We just added to it. So when books started to be read on UK Jazz Dancer in '86, when this film came out and portrayed us in a wrong light, misrepresentative, just something I had to kick into place. So I kicked into place, started to put talks on, went back to college, boom. What happened was, the material that I put together was stolen. Exhibition I put together was stolen. Do you understand what I'm saying? That happened in '91, '93 in London. I'm mugging, I was doing some videoing, boom. I had a master copy of my video, material write-up I did and all that. Due to the mugging, I had to drop everything and run for my life. I got cut. Do you understand? Lucky other people were coming from a pub that stopped the individuals. I didn't turn back to go back for my camera or whatever. I can't let people have gone because I faced violence before. So that was all lost. Then '96, what happened, we had a revival in Manchester, which I was part of, yeah, with a few of the people. What happened? The photographer did the photographs, left the country. It wasn't until the actually gone, but she never left no forwarding address. And that was one of the greatest revivals they had at Hacienda. I worked with Tiny G, we had the All-Stars, Manchester All-Stars. And we needed that, because what happened is the information has been hidden. People have archived, got paraphernalia, photographs, video and photographs, but they're not going to show you it, because the DJ set out, the proprietor set out to tell you this is a negative culture. If you see the photographs and video, you know that this wasn't what they perpetuated. The negative, bad-spirited DJs, proprietors, journalists, photographers and all that. What they perpetuated are not onlookers, wider cultures, is refuted when you see a video of the UK Jazz Dance. Refuted in the photographs. You know what you see? People smiling, groups of people together, girls and guys together. And it shows harmony. It doesn't show disharmony. Do you understand? So they cannot let you see that. Do you understand? So I put my own photographs together, boom, and people took that away. But I had a master copy of some photographs that I kept. Just in case anything happens, I kept them, people. And then what I had to do, the irony of the whole situation, I went back to university, boom, I went back into higher education in 05 to 10, and I decided to commit my life to showing you the lifestyle. Do you understand? That information was lost in 2012, but I'm alive in a house fire. But the irony of that situation is still, technology came up so I could show you. Like today, this is my lab. I had a lab in my mum's room. I tell people, from my mum's room, that was my first lab, prenatal education. 0 to 6, we had a little space where I was put in. That's where I did my work. And I got used to having my own little space. You dance in that corner. So our parents never stopped us from being self-expressive and creative. You need to understand it. They encouraged it. I got praise for dancing, praise for drawing, praise for designing. Oh, Dad, I done that car. Oh, that's good. Design that, boom. That's a good, that I like that song. You know what I mean? Do a face of your family and all that. We're encouraged to draw ourselves. So that gave us a good understanding. It gave us like a positive image of ourselves. We used to draw ourselves with afros. Mum's got plaits in her hair. Draw your scene around your house. They're the things our parents encouraged. And we had a small little space in the house. You know what I'm saying? You knew that was your space where you'd got pencils. You ordered it. But this is my bigger space now. You get what I'm saying? But I had this. Everywhere I've gone in the world, I create a little space. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, what's beautiful, we can use computers. So my ideas now, I can use a computer. I've got my computer, you can't see, it's down here. Yeah? I've got it here. I transfer film from there onto here and edit it. And what I do, I watch the film. So what I do when I do talks, I do them because I have the information to read and then do talk. Then what I do, I put it into here or this. I go into the kitchen when I'm washing the dishes, cooking my food. I listen to what I say and take bits out. Now what I do, I use Fiverr, F-I-V-V-E-R. Fiverr is an organisation that helps lean entrepreneurs. So example, I need my information transcribing. Yeah? So I send it off to them. So I might edit videos, I edit, I like that, I want that written up. I like this, I like that written up, I like that. Now secondly, what I do, I edit my own talks. That's good for that bit, that's good for this bit, that's good when I do this talk. And I plan ahead. I don't wait till, oh guess what, the workshop's coming. No. Because what happens is, ideas come with you in the early hours of the morning. So right now, I've been up since early hours, went to sleep. It's probably about 9 o'clock in the evening now, the 4th of April. I went to a major event, a dance event, which I work with a DJ called Earth and Rainy Artist DJ. I encourage people to dance and be creative. I'm an individual who talks about dance and health. I'm an individual who talks about dance and enhancing your neurology. So I enhance my neurology at the club. When I come home, after we've eaten, we go and have a ritual. We go and eat to review the place. We have a good laugh. He drops me off early in the morning. I come in, I have a shower. And what I do, I start to create then. I go to the video, boom, 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 because I'm creative, high at the height, because chakras are open. I sleep for a bit, get up, and the next few days, which I've been doing, between the 1st and the 4th, I've just been on the video. Just jotting down things, and then what happened is, the creativity will be gone then. And it's cool. Then what I do then, that's a process of doing. So the idea, do, create, plan and review. You do in what order you want. Do you know what I'm saying? There has to be a process where a review, do, create, plan and review is an action learning way of how I work as an individual. I'm a person with dyslexia, do you understand? Writing takes ages for me to do. You use a different part of your facilities. It's quicker for me to talk about what I want to do. Give somebody what I've spoken about, come back to me, I review it, then I send it to someone else to look at the grammar, how I put it together. Do you understand? This is the best way for me to work as an individual. That's why I love technology, because the interaction with technology is brilliant, because I can get a photograph. So what happened, I might talk about something, I said I need a photograph. So I've got my own photographs in here. So I might bring this talk in, I just use Window Media Maker on here right now. Do you know what I'm saying? I do a talk, I said I've got a picture of myself, you put the talk in, and I might have a quote, put it, yeah? Because, why am I doing this? Because if you look on the web, there's a need for resources, informed resources on UK Jazz Dance Pioneers. You cannot understand the culture. The culture's too hard. North, south, east and west, I've been analysing the culture to get a generic understanding. And the generic understanding I've tried to make people understand